All right, it's 5 o'clock, and we're going to go ahead and start Tuscaloosa Zoning Board of Adjustments meeting for February 24th, 2025. We welcome you to the meeting of the city's Tuscaloosa Zoning Board of Adjustment. Any written comments sent to the staff were forwarded to the board directly. I'd like to introduce the staff. Kim King, Associate City Attorney. Zach Pons, Director of Planning. Jonathan Bowen, Neighborhood Resources Coordinator. Now, the purpose of the Zoning Board of Adjustments, by virtue of state law and city ordinances, the purpose of the Zoning Board of Adjustments is as follows. Hear appeals from zoning officer decisions, grant special exceptions to the zoning code in accordance with the terms as established by the City Council, grant variances from the zoning code when strict enforcement creates unnecessary hardship. Circumstances that are not hardships include those that are, number one, self-inflicted or self-created, number two, inconvenient and or personal. HOA and subdivision covenants. The Zoning Board of Adjustments does not interpret or enforce subdivision covenants or HOA rules. Those matters are not relevant areas of inquiry by the board on any petition. There were sign-up sheets located outside for public comment. 4 speakers are allowed to speak in favor of a petition, and 4 speakers are allowed to speak in opposition to a petition. All speakers will have a maximum of 5 minutes unless the board votes to allow a longer time. The board will take up items in the order of our final agenda. The board will initially receive a presentation from the staff as to the details of the agenda item. After the staff's presentation, I will call upon the petitioner to present their case. The petitioner will have a maximum of 10 minutes unless the board votes to allow a longer time. At the conclusion of the petitioner's remarks, I will call on any party in order of sign-up who desires to support the petition. Thereafter, I will call on any party in order of sign-up those who oppose the petition. Now, when it's your turn for comment, please introduce yourself, stating your name and address to the board. To provide your remarks, any written comments have been included into the record. Now, after receiving the remarks of those who oppose the petition, the petitioner will have the opportunity to respond to those objections. Any rebuttal will be limited to 2 minutes unless the board votes to allow a longer time. Now, if the petitioner presents any new information in response to the objections, the board will allow those who oppose the petition the opportunity to respond to the new information only. Any response will be limited to 2 minutes unless the board votes to allow a longer time. Now, during the course of this presentation, you may be interrupted by any member of the board for clarification or additional information. Such interruptions will not reduce your allowed time limit. Now, once the board members are satisfied that they have received all relevant information, I will close further discussion by the public, at which time the board members will discuss the matter and then vote. Now, after the vote, you are free to leave. Now, these proceedings are video recorded and broadcast live. All in-person public comments should be made at the podium into the microphone. Any party aggrieved by any final judgment or decision of such zoning board of adjustments may within 15 days thereafter appeal therefrom to the circuit court by filing with such board a written notice of appeal specifying the judgment or decision from which the appeal is taken. Now, do any members of the board have any conflicts of interest as to any agenda matters? If so, please state the same for the record.
No.
No. I would ask the staff to confirm on the record that proper notice has been given to all parties in interest as required by law as to all matters before the board tonight.
Yes, it has.
Okay. Now, does the Office of the City Attorney have any updates on pending cases to present to us this evening?
Not tonight, no.
Okay. All right. With that, we'll begin with our approval of the minutes as the Board of Adjustments has received the synopsis for the June 2024 and September 2024 meeting. I move that we dispense with the reading of the minutes of these same unless there are any deletions, additions, or corrections. So we need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Do we need to do them separate? Okay. So let's do a motion for June 2024.
Make a motion.
Second.
Okay. Voting?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Approved. September 2024, need a motion?
So move.
Second.
Okay, voting?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Approved. First presentation. Smooth it. 4 minutes.
Good afternoon, Board. So we'll start with ZBA 625, Sarah Jane Doms petitions for a variance from the residential setback regulations on the property located at 4321 Timberdale Drive. This property is on SFR 1, Council District 5. Here we have the zoning of the property, as well as that aerial view, and then a view of the house and that accessory structure from the road. This is another view of the accessory structure. They had a previous request back in October, November of last year, so this might look a little familiar. Separate request, this petitioner is requesting a variance from the residential setback regulations. The building is 25 years old roughly and has historically been used as a bedroom, office, and shop. The petitioner is currently, states that the accessory structure is currently run down, and if approved, they do plan to pull building permits to convert it to centralized air conditioning. The accessory structure, the proposal is to connect to the primary structure through a heated and cooled hallway. So here we have our applicable regulations, SFR 1, you've got your side setback 10 feet and your rear setback of 35 feet. So essentially what we have here before you is the site plan, and you can see the existing accessory structure is roughly 2.5 feet away to the rear property line and 8 feet away from the side property line. So essentially by connecting it through this hallway, they would need to ask for a variance from those setback regulations. Here we have the floor plan. This hallway is going to be heated and cooled, so it's essentially going to function just like one structure. And then here we have that floor plan. We did not receive any public comments for this request, and we do have the representative here in person. Do you have any questions for staff?
Okay, this is the floor plan for that little storage shed?
So this is the floor plan for the accessory structure located here. The hallway is connecting primary structure to that accessory structure. So this is just an outline of what the existing accessory structure would look like if it's approved and to be converted into more livable space.
Do they have a floor plan or the hallway or the connection?
Yes, so it's a little bit hard to see it, but you've got a door located here, and then your hallway, which will connect also through a door located right there. And then the petitioner's here, and I can leave this slide up. He can draw a couple additional things on this plan.
But the accessory structure is not a new build. It's 25 years old, correct?
That's correct, yeah.
Didn't we have some pictures one time, the inside of that?
We did. They were submitted with the previous application.
Not-
We can pull those out too for reference.
Okay, when you go, I want to
Yeah.
see that. I wasn't expecting all of that in the, All right,
All right.
thank you. Sarah Jane, our representative?
Yes. I'm Tommy Woods. I live at 2842 Lake Crest Drive. These people have contacted me and had me do the drawings for this proposed plan. Haven't been hired yet, obviously, because we've got to get a building permit. Came last time, they wanted to, on the detached structure, they wanted to make that living space. That's against code. It was suggested by the board that if we could make it an attached part of the house, so that's what I came up with here, then we fell into the setback problem. But the building's been there for 25 plus years, so they're just trying to improve the property.
Are you just the contractor?
I will be if I'm hired, if
Oh.
they get this variance.
You're not the property owner.
No. I was told by the homeowner that when they were originally sold this piece of property, that it was marketed to them as a or that it could be turned into a mother-in-law suite, which is why they bought the property, and that's how we've gotten here.
So is that what they're doing? Is their father or mother or someone?
Mother and father are gonna live on the part that's now gonna be attached. It is, and there's an exterior doorway on the left side of the attachment. There's going to be an exterior doorway. There's also going to be a window in that room. And then the left big square room is where the laundry room is going to be.
This is a question for the city. So does the walkway meet our requirements as far as being air conditioned and everything?
Yes, it does. So the applicant, they have worked with our building and inspections division to ensure that all building codes would be met. The hallway that you see here would fit into the zoning and building code.
And do we have anything on record from fire?
Fire looked at it, they had no comments.
You're talking about the fire code? So the very back wall and the right side wall of the detached will have 5/8 drywall, 1 hour fire rated, as well as the ceiling in both both bedrooms. And then the exterior is going to be hardy board siding, which is also fire rated. Sir? It's masonite siding, yeah, and it's in bad shape. Mm-hmm, right.
Any more questions for the contractor? Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
We don't have anybody signed up to speak for or against. Is there anybody in the audience that'd like to speak for or against? Okay, at this time, we'll close public comment and go to board comment, starting with Marty.
Sorry about that. Yes, so I remember when this was presented before, and it was a father or mother that needed to move in. So I think the connection was what was needed to get there. Given that it's been there 25 years setback, I think the neighbors would have already complained before, so I'm fine with the proposal.
Yeah, I agree as well. I believe it was our recommendation for them to do something connected to the two structures, so I really have no issue with it.
Yeah, it's a tiny lot and goes back to our ordinance that we always rely on. And so I don't see a problem with it, and that is you. Now, this won't be able to be short-term rental as two separate properties. It would just be, if it does become a short-term rental, it'll be the whole property.
That's correct. So it'd be treated as one property.
Okay, all right. Other than that, in terms of renting it out, we have no variance on that. If they wanted to, say the parents, something they could just rent it out.
Yeah, they would, if they want to do long-term rental, they'd get a business license with our revenue office, and they could do that.
Okay. All right, so other than that, I don't have any issues.
Yeah, I agree with my fellow board members. I have no issues. I'm in favor.
I agree with the comments of the other board members. I have no issues.
Okay. At this time, we'll close board comment. I'll read the petition. ZBA-06-25, Sarah Jane Doms, petitions for a variance from the residential setback regulations on the property located at 4321 Timberdale Drive, Zone SFR-1, Council District 5. Voting with Marty?
Yes.
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 Motion approved.
All right, we'll move on to our last case of the night, ZBA 725, Brian Halter, petitions for a special exception to allow the short-term rental of a property located at 610 Stone River Road. This property is on SFR1, Council District 3. Here we have the zoning of the property, as well as that aerial view, and then a view of the surrounding short-term rentals in the general area. Here we have a picture of the house, as well as closer up of the parking area. So the petitioner is requesting special exception to allow the short-term rental of their dwelling. Brian Halter and Eric Rodriguez will be the primary contacts and will be available 24 hours a day in case of any emergencies. The petitioner does have experience managing over 10 properties in Dallas, Texas. This house is equipped with 2 exterior cameras, keypad locks, and they also plan to install a noise detection system. It is not owner-occupied, but it will be used by the petitioner's son during the spring and fall semesters. The house has 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. The petitioner requests 8 adults and 4 vehicles. Based on the parking, staff would recommend 8 adults and 4 vehicles. We did not receive any public comment, and we do have the representative here in person. Do you have any questions for staff?
That's it.
Thanks.
Thank you. Brian?
Good evening. I own the property at 610 Stone River Road. I currently reside in Carrollton, Texas. As stated before, we own a property management company in Texas, and We've had it for about 4 years now. We manage 10 properties. We own all the properties, just like we own this property. We take great pride in our properties that we have. We want to be a good neighbor. I also manage properties for my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law. And in the 4 years that we've been doing short-term rentals, I've never had a complaint, never had the police called, never had an issue. I've only had one issue from any city, and that was because we put the trash out a day early. Other than that, we've never had an issue. My phone is by my side 24 hours a day. My son goes to school here. He helps manage the properties with me when he's at home in Texas, so he's well-versed in how the process works. So he would be the secondary contact. That was Eric Rodriguez.
So he's the boots on the ground. If something happened, he would be the one to go over?
Yes, ma'am.
And where will he be when the property's rented? So like he's gonna live in it in the fall and spring semester, but like if it's rented out, where will he stay?
It won't be rented out while he's living there.
So you won't do it only when he's out of town?
Only when so during breaks, during summertime, that would be the only time that it's rented out. The rest of the time, he'll be back in Texas.
So if he's not there, he's on break or spring break or Christmas holidays, who's gonna be your boots on the ground guy
That would be me.
in Texas?
Yep.
Is there anybody here? Well, the reason why we ask that is because sometimes the police need to talk to somebody.
Right.
Or somebody needs to handle something right then or make a decision. Is there anybody in town or?
I do have a handyman that I use that he will be my main contact for any issues that either I can't resolve or my son can't resolve. So he would be a contact.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
All right. There's nobody signed up to speak for or against. Is there anybody in the audience that'd like to speak for or against? At this time, we'll close public comment, and we will start with board comment. Mr. Hamner.
Yes, I think there's some short-term rentals already in this neighborhood, and I'm supportive.
Yes, there are a few that have been approved recently in the area. I'm supportive of it, but not of 8 and 4. I'd be a lot more comfortable with 6 and 3, I believe is the next, 6 and 3, at least for the first year.
I agree. 8 and 4 is just a lot, and especially in a neighborhood when you're going into a family residential neighborhood like that. There are in the area, but on that street. So I think for the first year, I would go with 6 and 3. That's 6 and 3, 30 days, and for 1 year.
Yeah, I have no issues. I'm in favor of either 8 and 4 or 6 and 3. And the only requirement I would ask is that we have the local handyman's information on file for emergency contact.
I agree with the other comments about adjusting the number of adults and vehicles as well as having local contact information. Other than that, I have no issues.
Okay. We'll close board comment, and I'll read the motion. ZBA-07, do I need to ask the petitioner if he's okay with 6 and 3? Will you be okay with 6 and 3? Six adults and 3 cars?
I would prefer 8 and 4. I mean, the parking, yeah, a 2-car garage.
Come back to the mic.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were talking to me.
Yeah, you come back to the mic.
Oh, sorry. When you look at the layout of the home, there's a 2-car garage that the guests will be allowed to use, and then the parking obviously will easily fit 4 cars.
Oh, we have no doubt that it'll accommodate the 8 and 4. What it is our preference is that when you first start out and you're introducing short-term rental to a neighborhood, especially in an area where it's not a lot heavily populated, we start with 6 and 3. 8 and 4 is a lot of people, a lot of cars and a lot of traffic, and sometimes that can cause more than, some agitation in the community. So that's why we like to start you out with 6 and 3. No
Okay.
problems. Then when you come back, you can take it to the 8 and 4.
Okay. So after 1 year, we could revisit it for 8 and 4?
Yes, when you get ready to renew.
Okay, sounds good to me.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, reading the petition, ZBA-07-25, Brian Halter petitions for a special exception to allow short-term rental of a property located at 610 Stone River Road, Zones SFR-1, District, Council District 3, voting with Mr. Hamner.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Petition approved. Meeting adjourned.